So thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about building or refreshing your marketing strategy. My name is Samantha, and I've been a marketing professional for over 12 years in many different industries and environments. And I love marketing, so I'm excited to talk to you guys today about it. In the next 40-ish minutes, we're going to go over how to refresh or create your marketing strategy in 5 steps, and we'll end that session with lots of time for Q&A. My goal is that you leave this session having learned something new and feeling inspired and excited to re-engage with your marketing. In case you're unfamiliar with us, KWB Accountants and Advisors was founded in 1996. And since then, we've been helping business owners to simplify your accounting, improve your profit, and achieve your goals. In order to do that, we offer a wide range of services and solutions from bookkeeping and financial statements and taxes to on-site advisory. And on-site advisory is how we help you to achieve more and to reach your goals, including when it comes to marketing. KWB's mission is to provide you with great advice, and today our mission is to offer you a guide to refreshing or creating your marketing strategy so that you can increase sales and keep doing what you love. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to say is that you are always marketing. Whether you're being intentional and you have a strategy and a dedicated marketing person or team, or you're passive and you're not really engaged or working on it, you are always marketing. So this means that you're always making an impression. And if you're not being intentional about it, you might not be making the impression that you want to. Having a marketing strategy is the first step to taking control of your message and the impression that you're giving. Allison, would you mind throwing up the first poll called your marketing strategy?
Absolutely.
Take a couple seconds here to respond to the poll just to kind of see where everybody's at.
It's not going to be very anonymous.
So it looks like
Almost half and half with the first one, hey?
almost, yeah. So it looks pretty evenly split that, are you guys able to see the poll? Allison, can you share results?
I can.
So it looks like we are split. 50% of us have a formal marketing strategy and 50% of us don't. As far as how often we review it, most of us never do. Maybe those are the people who don't have one to review. And then some of us are reviewing it monthly, with a few quarterly and every few years. So definitely lots of room for kind of being more engaged in this process. Okay, our first step in creating our marketing strategy is setting yourself apart. For this step, you'll want to gather with stakeholders and key people in your business who have insight into your business. They could be internal or external people, as long as they can offer some important perspective. You likely already have a defined business purpose, and now is a good time to review it and to recommit to it. It's the foundation of your strategy, not just in marketing, but in all aspects of your business. Next, we want to take some time to consider what makes you better than your competitors. Maybe you have a unique process, or you're experts or leaders in your industry. Maybe you have an incredible amount of experience. Whatever it might be, let's figure out what is your competitive advantage. With that awareness in place, work as a group with that group of key people and stakeholders to complete a SWOT analysis. This is where we'll take note of things that you do really well, where you have room for improvement, what opportunities are available to you, and what risks or threats might impact you. Having this SWOT analysis in place will help you as you work on your marketing strategy by giving you some really clear ideas of what to highlight and showcase to the world. Step 2 is to determine your goals and the resources that you have to achieve them. So Danielle, you mentioned you don't have a dedicated marketing person, that's okay. We can still work with that. Some people might have a whole marketing team. But the second step here is to determine your goals and the resources that you have to achieve them. As part of your overall business strategy, you probably already have revenue goals in place for the year. And those revenue goals are relevant to your marketing because your marketing efforts are going to be working towards helping you to accomplish those revenue goals. So it's a really good idea to have them defined and in mind when we're working on this marketing strategy. With specific revenue goals in mind, we can figure out how many new clients or customers or orders are required to reach that revenue. When we know how many new clients or customers we're targeting, you can determine how many new leads you'll need to capture and get that many new clients or customers. If this is a new practice for you, it may take some trial and error to figure out what the right ratio is for how many new leads you need to capture to achieve the number of clients you want. For example, you might need to capture 10 leads to get one new client. You can break down your leads goals even further into general leads and qualified leads, since you might capture new general leads who don't actually meet the criteria you have for a new client or customer. General leads will be a larger number, followed by qualified leads, and then new clients. And having goals in place for each of these categories, revenue, clients, qualified leads, and general leads, it gives you something to aim for. After some time implementing your strategy and reporting on it, which we'll get to later on, you can define the goals based on some real data. Step 3 is to define your ideal customer or client. In step 2, I mentioned general leads versus qualified leads because not everyone you capture actually fits your ideal client criteria. And here's where we want to define who that ideal client or customer is. Depending on your business purpose and who your business is relevant to, defining your ideal client helps you to focus on reaching the right people. These are the people who are well suited to what you offer, who are likely to purchase or engage with you, and who are in a position that you are able to best serve. So perhaps they should have a certain income level in place to afford your services or products. Should they be people who face a specific challenge? Maybe they need to reside within a certain radius of your business. Just all of those types of things. What other criteria make up your ideal client? With a few key criteria outlined, you can focus on the demographics and psychographics associated with those criteria. Demographics, I think, are a little more familiar. Those are things like age, gender identity, family status, location, profession, income, and even like education and interests. Psychographics are the sort of like more emotional, psychological things that we can target. So things like common problems that this group of people faces, what they want to achieve, what they desire, what they're afraid of, what their aspirations are. Important to note, not every new lead or client needs to exactly match your ideal client criteria. We don't want to disqualify someone who might be a great client for you just because they don't check all of those boxes. But having an idea of your perfect client in mind helps you to focus your strategy and your effort. So with your ideal client, target demographics, and target psychographics defined, you can craft the right message that's going to resonate with this group of people and also share it with them in the best way. This brings us to step number 4, tactics and content. So now that you have an idea of who you want to reach, it's time to determine the best way to reach them and what the right message is to capture them as a lead and to nurture them until they're ready to convert and become a new client. We're going to focus on tactics first and then dive into content a little bit. So step 4, tactics and content, it's kind of like the meat and potatoes of this process. We've done the groundwork and we've laid out the foundation of the strategy, the goals that you have in mind, and now we're planning for implementation. Marketing tactics are the specific activities and mediums we use to spread our message to our audience. They're are so many different things that we can do here, and it all depends on who you're trying to reach and what the best way is to engage with them. This is a list of just a few common marketing tactics, but it's definitely not a complete list. We could add to it trade shows, radio ads, a million different types of things. The most important thing in this step is to choose the right tactics for your audience. If you're trying to reach Generation Z to sell a new line of makeup, you want to be where they are, which is likely on TikTok, and you want to create content that suits TikTok and that audience, like a makeup tutorial or a review video. If you're an accounting and advisory firm who wants to help business owners improve your profit and achieve your goals, you might host a webinar on how to build a marketing strategy in 5 steps. This step takes some research and also likely some trial and error. Content. So when we've determined the appropriate channels to use, it's time to consider the content that you're going to share. This is where the work we did in the first step becomes really important. Your business purpose, your competitive advantage, and your SWOT analysis can help you form the basis of your messaging. With those things in mind, develop your central theme and a foundational message that kind of always relates back to your business purpose and what your mission is, what you're offering to people, and always ties back into that central theme and foundational message. And it should all relate into what you do as a business. The goal here is to put out content that is obviously you. It's relevant to your business, to your target audience, and it becomes familiar. Your specific messaging will change, and the topics that you post about will be different from post to post, but the same central theme and foundation is always present. When it comes to creating your content, the idea of the 3 pillars of content can kind of help guide you in terms of what do you even want to say. The first pillar is lived experience, and it focuses on storytelling and expertise. So this could be telling a story about a challenge your client or customer faced and how your expertise helped to solve it for them. The second pillar of content is active learning, and it's the type of content that features expertise in a conversational way where you're presenting information as an opportunity for your audience to learn something or to get immediate value from it. This could be a blog article or a video on how your target audience can fix a common problem, and it presents you as an expert and thought leader on the subject. The third pillar is audience-generated content. And this could be a customer testimonial or a client success story. It could even be people posting just on their own because they love you so much, that sort of thing, or an experience they had with you, or they're answering questions for each other in a forum that you've created, that sort of thing where they're creating the content for you. Allison, would you mind throwing up the poll called Tactics and Content?
There you go.
Thank you. If you don't mind, just take a couple of minutes here, a few seconds to answer this survey here on what marketing tactics you're using. And you can click as many as apply to you. And also if you've established your central theme and foundational message. Lots of answers coming in. Just give it a couple seconds and then share the results. I'm not sure if you can see them as they're happening.
Here we go.
Awesome. So it looks like almost all of us are have an SEO optimized website, which is fantastic. A little bit of email marketing and some Google ads and social ads, lots of organic social media, and lots of referral generating relationships. That is so important, especially if you're like in professional services. Happy clients and customers, lots of that, which is great. And a lot of us don't have a central theme or foundational message, which is fine. That's an awesome thing to kind of build. And once you have that in place, it's so much easier to come up with content because you're not just trying to pull stuff out of thin air. Very cool. Lastly, for this step, you want to create content that moves your audience through your sales funnel. So we start by creating content that captures new leads and gets them to engage with you in some way. And then once you have their attention, you want to have content for them that nurtures that interest until you convert them into a client. So the goal is to capture the right people with the right message, hold their attention, or stay top of mind for them for when they're ready to move forward with it and purchase your service or product. In no time at all, we've reached the final step, reporting and results. We've done a lot of work to create a unique strategy and generate relevant content, and we hope that it's all working to achieve the goals that we've laid out, but we can't know that for sure unless we're capturing data and reporting on the results and reviewing this information so that we can make adjustments and corrections. I recommend quarterly reporting at a minimum, but if your time allows, monthly and weekly are best so that we can really gain an understanding of how successful your efforts are. You can report on how many general leads, qualified leads, and new clients you achieve, which tactics they engaged with for you to capture them. So did they Google something and come to your website? Did they respond to an email marketing? Did they attend an event that you did? That sort of thing. What was it that captured them? And what actually converted them to becoming a new client? Report on your return on advertising spend to make sure that you're spending money in the right places. Be aware that depending on your business, your sales cycle and the return on that marketing effort investment can really vary. If you're a cafe promoting a weekly special, you'll want your marketing efforts to see immediate results so that your weekly special is successful. If you're a law firm, your cycle might be 12 or even like 18 months or more because your client's need might not be immediate, but when you want them to come to you when they're ready. Keep track of your leads and how often they're engaging with you, and make time to follow up with the qualified leads that you're nurturing. Be intentional about what you're doing and be aware of where you're seeing success. We all have limited time and money and people on our staff, so we have limited resources to spend on marketing. So reporting is really, really important and useful in helping us to decide where those resources are best spent. It doesn't make sense to spend time on things that see no return on that investment, and we want to focus the time and money that we do have on what will actually help us to reach our goals. Marketing is often a lot of trial and error, and the more engaged that you can be in it, the more control you have over outcomes. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't look like your efforts are successful. Just consider what can be adjusted and make changes to move things in the right direction. Allison, can you throw up the reporting on your marketing efforts poll?
Yes.
So just take a couple seconds here. Do you have a formal reporting process for your marketing efforts? And how often do you update or review your reporting?
I can't click yes or no at the same time. Damn.
Give it a couple seconds here. Allison, do you want to share results?
Sure.
So for do we have a formal reporting process? It's pretty evenly split with a lot of us saying no, but a lot of us saying yes. How often do we update and review that reporting? Most of us are saying monthly. That's awesome. Quarterly is still good. Weekly is great. So this is really, really nice to see. And for those of us who don't have a formal reporting process, I think that when you implement that, it's just going to be a real game changer for helping you to kind of figure out what you're doing and what's working and what to spend your time on. Okay. So in today's session, we did not have time to go over everything that we should consider when it comes to our marketing strategy and execution. Some of the other things to consider are developing your brand image, making sure it's consistently represented. That's an important part of your overall strategy, especially when it comes to your content. Having a CRM in place, which is a customer relationship management software, can really simplify your marketing processes and save you lots of time. I'm personally a huge fan of HubSpot, though there are many options that suit different budgets. There's many tools that can help you to save time and make things easy and efficient and hopefully fun for when it comes to creating and sharing your content. I'm obsessed with this tool called Canva. You may already be familiar with it. It's a content creation tool. It's insanely reasonably priced. It's easy to use, turns everyone into a graphic designer, and helps you save a ton of time.
I'm a big fan of it and I'm an accountant, so.
It's like a dream for especially small businesses, just to be able to really infuse your branding into your content and just make you feel like you're doing it in a nice way. On that, in case you're not aware of it, there's a thing right now called the Canada Digital Adoption Program. It's a grant and loan program that gives you up to $15,000 to work with an advisor to develop a digital roadmap for your business. And you could use that to help you determine what tools are best for your business, specific to marketing, but other types of things as well. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you didn't know.